Hello everyone, it's Meg, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys some books that I want to read before the end of 2020. 2020 has been a year, let's just put it that way, but in terms of reading and how much I've read, I've actually had a really amazing reading year. My Goodreads goal for this year was 50 books, and I surpassed that quite a lot. I have currently read 55 books from when I'm filming this video, which is absolutely amazing, and I'm hoping to read some more. I'm not going to read too much more because I'm actually finally admitted to myself that I'm in a reading slump, which isn't fun. So I thought I would just talk to you guys today about some books I want to read by the end of the year. I'm by no means going to be able to read all of these by the end of the year because, like I said, I'm definitely on a slower pace when it comes to reading at the moment. And I'm also kind of reading a lot of other books for studying for my masters and stuff, kind of like in the hope that I'm actually going to get on the course, that is. But I have 8 books here, and like I said, I am definitely not going to read all of these, but these are ones I'd definitely like to get to. We have some young adults, we have novel in verse, we have adult historical fiction, we have poetry, we have all sorts. So without further ado, let's get into the video. The first book that I have on this list is The Black Flamingo by Dean Atter. And if you have been watching my videos for a while, you will know that I read this book at the beginning of the year. It's like the second book or the third book that I read at the beginning of the year. And it put me in a reading slump, and I don't know why, because I did enjoy it, but I also don't think I appreciated it as much. And I read this book before like the super hype came up around it. And I feel like I just need to reread it because I need to fully appreciate it more, and I love Dean Atter as a person and a writer. I think he's absolutely amazing, and yeah, I just feel like I need to reread it and fully appreciate it because I don't feel like I did that the first time. Hopefully I could get to it at the end of this year. If not, I'm hoping it'll be one of the first books that I pick up at the beginning of next year. Next up we have Minsk Square by Eva Ibbotson, and I discovered Eva Ibbotson through Lucy Powery, who is from Lucy the Reader, and also Laura Wood, who is obviously one of my favourite authors of all time. You guys should know that by now, and they both adore her books. So I decided to pick one up when I was at a little indie bookstore before lockdown, and this one appealed to me the most, and I don't know much about it apart from the fact that it is set in 1910 in Vienna, and it follows our main character. I think she is a dressmaker, or she owns a boutique, and it's kind of like a slice of life sort of thing about this square where she owns this shop, and it's about the people in it and kind of the goings on. And it's not a very long book, I think it's under 300 pages. Yeah, it's under 300 pages, so I think it's just going to be a really lovely like slice of life book, like I said, getting to know all sorts of different characters and the setting, and I love the idea of Vienna, and I'm getting into more historical fiction now, definitely, and this is something that appeals to me. So apparently this author's writing is really lovely, and I've heard nothing but good things about her books, so I'm definitely looking forward to giving this a go. Next up we have another novel in verse, and that is Blood Moon by Lucy Cuthew, and I picked this up at the end of summer when I was on holiday from a local bookshop. And this is a book I've seen about a little bit. I haven't heard too much about it, but from what I have heard, it had amazing reviews. And it is a novel in verse, like I said before, and I don't know much about it apart from the fact that it's about periods, sex and online shaming. So it's all those sort of like feminist themes, and apparently this is amazing. I'm really interested to see how these sort of topics are discussed in a verse format. I think that's going to be really interesting, and yeah, I think I am going to really enjoy this. It's going to be a book, even though I have read a lot of books with like different feminist themes, I feel like this is just going to shine a really whole new light on it. And also, if I'm not really in the mood for reading a full novel, it's going to be a great start. It's going to be a great easy read for me to pick up, and also a very important read at the same time, so I'm very much looking forward to getting to this one. I'm really sorry that the light is changing. It's kind of like cloudy and sunny today, so as you can see from this video so far, the light is constantly changing. But the next book that I'm going to hopefully get, I am actually going to definitely get to this by the end of the year, is my only Christmas read, and that is This Winter by Alice Oseman, and this is a solitaire slash heartstopper novella, and I'm very excited for this. Alice actually wrote this a good couple of years ago, but this is the first time that it is actually in like a physical form, and I don't know much about it. It takes place a little bit after the third volume of Hot Stop, I think, which is the volume that is currently out in like in physical form. And I don't know much about it, but it follows Charlie's family, like Charlie and Tori, and I think it kind of deals with like mental health. I don't know whether it deals with depression or not, don't quote me on that, I'm not entirely sure. But I'm very much looking forward to it. It's only about 100 pages long, and like the Nick and Charlie novella, it's got illustrations in it and little parts on it, and I think it's just going to be really, really lovely. And it's got little extras in it as well, like character details and all that sort of thing. But yeah, this is my only Christmas read that I have at the moment because I'm not planning on buying any more books. I'm still on my book buying ban now. But I'm really looking forward to giving this a go. I've enjoyed all of Alice's books that I've read so far, so I am looking forward to giving her Christmassy themed read a go. Next up we have Mine by Emily Merrill, and Em is one of my very good friends here on BookTube, and I'm guilty. Every time I talk about this book in a video I always say that I'm guilty of not reading her book yet, and I feel so bad about it. I think at the moment this is the book I'm going to read next after my current read, because I really, really want to get to this by the end of the year. I actually read the first chapter of this for a try chapter tag, which will be up before this video, so I will leave a link in the description if you want to go and check that out. As you can tell, I didn't end up choosing this book. It was so close, but I just wanted a book that was like super light and fluffy, which my other one was. And I know that this is a bit more of a hard-hitting book because it deals with the topic of toxic relationships and domestic abuse, I believe. So obviously they are quite hard-hitting topics, very important topics as well. And I have read one other book that deals with toxic relationships before, and I did really enjoy it. So I'm really looking forward to giving Em's book a go, and I know I've heard nothing but good things about this book. All of my friends who have read it, everybody else on BookTube has read it, and from the first chapter that I read, I really enjoyed it. Em's writing style seems so easy and really immersive at the same time, and her characters seem really fun. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how the story goes, and I'm definitely going to be picking this up by the end of the year. I hope. At the moment, like I said, it's my next read after the book I'm currently reading. Don't know when I'm going to finish that because I'm very slow at reading at the moment, but this is definitely going to be my next book for when I have finished my current read. And the last novel that I have on this list is Splinters of Scarlet by Emily Bain Murphy, and I got this as a subscription box a couple of months back. And I was actually intending to pick this up for a readathon that I did with Kira and Em the other month, but I didn't end up doing that because I just wasn't in the mood for it in the end. But it's a book I definitely want to try and get to, and it definitely gives me like autumnal winter vibes, which is why I want to read it in the colder seasons. And this is a historical fiction set in Copenhagen, and apparently it's kind of like magical as well. And it is about this seamstress, and she ends up working at this palace with all these magical servants, and it's kind of a bit of a murder mystery as well, I believe. And it just sounds amazing. It's slightly out of my comfort zone because I'm not really into mysteries, but like the magical setting, the historical setting as well seems right up my street, and I love the fact that it's got seamstress in it, and this cover is gorgeous. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to getting into this. I haven't been disappointed by any of the books that I have got from Bookbox Club in the past, so I'm very much looking forward to giving this a go, hopefully get into it, if not by the end of the year, then at some point during this winter, because I feel like it's like that perfect like cozy read that you can just totally lose yourself in. And the last two books on this list, I'm not expecting myself to read both of these. I want to read one or the other at least, because I'm trying to get myself back into reading poetry on a more regular basis, because obviously, if you guys don't know, I'm applying for my masters. Hopefully I'm going to be submitting my application before the end of November, but I'm trying to obviously keep up with my reading so then I get used to reading and analysing and all that sort of thing. So I have two poetry collections here. I want to read one of them at least. I think I am going to only end up reading one of them because I read poetry collections quite slowly. So the first one is The Girl Aquarium by Jen Campbell, and the second one is Ariel by Sylvia Plath. And these are two collections I am so ridiculously excited to read. I don't really know much about Ariel, I just know that it is probably one of Sylvie's most popular collections. I've heard, like, everybody seems to have read it who is into poetry, and I really wanted to get into more of Sylvia's work as I haven't really read much of it in the past, and she's obviously such a well-known poet, so I really want to give this a go at some point. And then from what I gathered from Jen's collection, this is her first full-length poetry collection, and I think this follows the themes of like girlhood and fairy tales and all those sort of things. And I haven't read a book by Jen yet. She's got quite a few books out now, but I haven't read any of them yet, so I'm very much looking forward to reading this. I'm just honestly going to choose whichever one I feel like I'm in the mood to read. So one of these, but I'm definitely going to get to them both at some point. But yeah, definitely want to get to one of these before the end of the year, just to kind of keep myself on a regular basis when it comes to reading poetry. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and hearing me talk about some books that I want to read by the end of the year. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm definitely not going to be getting to all of these books by the end of the year. It's just not going to happen. But I'm going to try my very best and just enjoy reading. That's probably the best thing that I need to do right now, because since I'm kind of in a bit of a reading slump, I just need to enjoy books, hopefully choose books and read books that I'm going to end up really enjoying. I feel like I am going to enjoy all of these books, to be honest with you, but I guess we shall see when I end up reading them. But if you have read any of these books, let me know in the comments down below your opinions on them, as I would love to know as always. And leave a comment down below on a book that you would like to read by the end of the year, because I would love to know. If you like this video, then please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more bookish videos from me, then make sure you hit the subscribe button and little bell icon so you'll be noted every time I post a new video. As always, I will leave the links to my social media along with the links to my Goodreads in the description down below for you guys. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!